Hey everyone, welcome back to This Old Kitchen. Do you have a family member do you remember growing up and you used to think that the frozen dinners that you would buy, whether it's the Hungry Man turkey Thanksgiving dinner or if it's the Stouffer's lasagna or it's the something that makes you feel really nostalgic, and then you go to have it as an adult and you think maybe it was a little overrated. Well, that is what my husband and I have been experiencing. So today, one of the favorite things that he has is tomato soup and grilled cheese. So we are going to do a homemade roasted tomato soup and grilled cheese dinner. And we are hopefully going to be able to do that. I am going to be adding in, I thought I had some bell peppers. So I was going to roast some bell peppers with it, but I ran out. I thought I had some, but I didn't. So I'm going to use my jarred ones that I have in the refrigerator. I'm not going to use a whole lot, just a few, just to kind of add an extra flavor. I've never made this before, so we'll see how it turns out. I hope you guys join me, and I hope it turns out good. Follow along.
So what we're going to start with is 3 pounds of tomatoes. Now in this one I used Romas. They always suggest San Marzanos, and you can get those canned, which you can use as well. I just wanted to use fresh tomatoes. Along with those 3 pounds of fresh tomatoes or a 28-ounce can of tomatoes, you're also going to slice up a white onion and some garlic. Now, garlic is what you want. I used a whole head of garlic. My husband said we should have used a little bit less, but I like garlic. So we're going to go ahead and get this on a roasting pan, and we're going to roast it at 400 for 45 minutes, all on a single layer. Don't pile your tomatoes on top of each other. You're going to lightly oil and then lightly salt and let that sit and roast in the oven. Now, once those are just about done roasting, you're going to go ahead and get a saucepan or a Dutch oven, whichever you want to use. You're going to put a little bit of oil inside that, and then you're going to get your herbs. Now, I used a teaspoon of thyme and a pinch or a quarter teaspoon of red pepper flakes. You're going to put that in the oil, get them warmed up so they start to become aromatic. And then once your tomatoes and your onion and garlic are done roasting, you're going to add those into the pan along with your choice of either a quart of vegetable broth or chicken broth. Now, I use vegetable broth, but I did add a little bit of chicken bouillon just to give it more of a depth of flavor. The vegetable broth is really good, but it's a little on the flat side for me, so I did add that. If you are using canned tomatoes, you're going to want to put in a teaspoon of sugar. And what the sugar does with any kind of canned tomatoes is it takes away that tin taste that you have. I also, at the very end, am going to add in some tomato paste just to kind of give it more of a heavier tomato flavor, as well as a whole bunch of basil. You're going to let that get all incorporated, and then you're going to use either a blender or an immersion blender to get that all blended up, and then let it sit on the stove for about an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, just to let it reduce and thicken up. And now to my favorite part, the grilled cheese. What I always try to do is, if I have it in the pantry, use some finely grated Parmesan cheese on the outside and let that marry with the butter and get all grilled and nice and yummy. It adds another layer. I also use a hamburger press to make sure that those cheese, especially if you're using the shredded cheese, needs to compress so it can get ooey gooey and melted. Otherwise, it's going to take a lot longer and your bread may burn. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope my daughters enjoy this, and you guys have a great day. Thank you for joining me, and have a wonderful evening.